All right, so it is January 24th, and this is a live session for National University Management, Management 309, Principles of Management and Organizations. So, all right. So, each week there's been two assignments, and along with the discussion questions, of course. Week 4 is what they call the signature assignment, and it definitely is a little more robust than the other assignments. So we'll walk through that, and of course, any questions you have along the way relative to that, or let me start off. Do you have any questions about any of the grading coursework thus far, or anything within class?
Not regarding the class, but I do have questions for this assignment this week when we get to it.
Oh, okay, good. That sounds good. Well, let me go ahead and share my screen. Share my screen. Where did it go? Well, that's weird. Pause. Oh, shrink there. All right. We want to go right here. All right, so you should be seeing our classroom portal there. All right, let me go ahead, and I have week 4 ready. Okay, I think that's, let me go full screen. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So this assignment is on conflict resolution. And just go ahead and read that opening paragraph. This assignment will guide you through a difficult topic, conflict resolution. You will apply what you learned this week on leading and controlling, while also consolidating, planning, and organizing from previous weeks in order to fully integrate the functions of management into dealing with an all too real problem that managers face regularly. Okay, so step 1, identify a company. So it's a company of your choice. It may be any industry, private, public, or non-profit, so pretty wide open on a company. Either speak with the manager or research the company online to learn about the company's culture and to gauge employee engagement. So it gives you again some latitude on kind of peeling the onion back a little bit and understanding what the culture is and things of that nature. Step 2, using your personal experiences, rank the bad boss behaviors, which is below, from 1 to 12. 1 worst morale killer that makes you consider quitting your job, and 12 still affects morale, but better than the rest. The rank list needs to be the appendix at the end of the document. So once you go through the exercise right here, then you want to have that as in your appendix document. So that means all assignments for all papers for this assignment will have an appendix. Okay. Then 3, write your report as follows. Note, all 5 sections below must be main headings: introduction, internal conflict, management, etc. Or really, this would be when we talk APA language, that'd be level 1 headings. All right. Okay, so describe the business and the business problem. That's going to be in your introduction. Perform an in-depth analysis of the internal conflict in the company you selected, i.e. what's causing the morale to decline. Number 3, discuss management theories that could be utilized to increase the organization's efficiency and effectiveness, briefly addressing each aspect of management. And these would be level 2 headings.
this is the what part I did have a question on. So each portion for like the planning organization would be its own paragraph, or it
Yeah,
all needs to go. Okay. Okay.
yeah, definitely. So that's okay. That's good. I'll take that right in there. Planning, organizing, leading, controlling. How does the culture of the organization contribute to employee engagement? Using only the top 3 bad boss behaviors from your list, what recommendations would you make to the owner about resolving the conflict between bosses and employees? Now, with this paper, it says, as this is your signature assignment, also include an executive summary as a standalone synopsis of your entire project. Okay. Don't forget appendix contains your bad boss behaviors. That's step 2 above. All right, so let me minimize this real quick. So what I did here, if we scroll on down, guidelines, the assignment is considered a complete business case study. Therefore, your report should be written as a formal business report, your analysis, and that would be 3rd person. Okay. Assignment length is 5 pages, not including title page, executive summary, and references. Title page, executive summary. And this should be. There we go, and appendix. So let's pause here a second. And well, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it right below. So references, like, week to week doesn't change. Internal, textbook readings, etc., and external other published work should be used to add credibility to your statements. So the grading criteria, executive summary, and introduction. So when we think about like how your paper is formatted, of course, you're going to have your title page, which is, I provide a snapshot of what the title page is. I think we should all be used to those by now. And then your very next page, which is actually page 2, you're going to have your paper title, and then that will be your executive summary, which is going to be 2 to 3 paragraphs because you're summarizing your entire project. Okay, that's page 2, and then going to page 3, you'll have your paper title. Then, just like normal, your introductory paragraph, which is 3 to 5 sentences, and it's kind of redundant, but this is this is an academic assignment. So now your introductory paragraph is going to take executive summary and condense it even more to 3 to 5 sentences. So after writing your executive summary, you pretty much have everything you need to write an introduction. Then now when it talks about like, when we go back up here, I think I went past it. There's level 2. And level 1 was right above it somewhere, right? Right here. So, ultimately, now they call it out here like use level 1 for this, and use level 2 for that. They're just really reiterating what APA is. There's nothing special really from that. Now, the executive summary, that is special per this assignment, because we know that's not like the norm of a academic research paper. So when they talk about, level 1 headings and level 2, that's pretty much standard APA. That, of course, I discuss in detail in my APA video, and the example paper that I provide is just a guide for a visual. Okay. So when we come on down here to grading criteria, executive summary, introduction, and straightforward. Analysis of conflict right there. So when this says analysis of conflict, that's that's me reading your paper and pulling from there kind of the breadth and depth of your analysis. So that's not looking at like one particular thing. That's looking at me. We're looking at the whole paper and gleaning and then understanding how, detailed and things of that nature. So management theories for improvement, culture and recommendation. So when we look at these two, if we go up, so it's management theories, improvement, cultures, and recommendations. So when we go back up here, discuss management theories. And then we have culture of the organization. And then we have recommendations. So when we discuss the management theories, right up here, then when you see management theories here, that's where your level 2 headers will definitely will roll up under management theories for improvement. So management theories, and then they say specifically touch on these 4 right here. So these for level 2 headings, like if you think about your headings, right? Title page, executive summary, introduction, and then your first level 1 header basically is going to be this right here. Management theories for improvement. Boom. A short little intro to that topic. And then these 4 will be level 2 headers up underneath that. So it'll be level 2 header, planning, right about planning. Right below that, organizing, right about organizing. And then leading, right about it, controlling, right about it. And that will be your entire section under management theories for improvement. Let me pause there. Does that make sense?
Sort of. I'm going to have to go back through and re-review the video for sure, though.
Okay. Oh, for the APA. Well, let me see here real quick. Let me open. Let's see here. It's going to open somewhere. There it is. Just pull this out of the video. Let me open up that sample APA paper. Oh, there it is. Usually right at the top. Oop. Where in my, there it is. Oh, no, it's not the one. Darn it. All right, give me a second here. It's usually right at the top. Oh, right there. Okay. Okay, finally. All right. Okay, so title page. And typically, again, you just start off with the introductory paragraph, where this time your page 2 will be your executive summary. So you have your paper title, and then say executive summary, and then write about it. So your whole second page is going to be 3-4 paragraphs of an executive summary. Okay. So when you get to your your, which will be page 3, because again, this is a little different. Then you have your paper title, your introductory paragraph. So you'll take that summary and synthesize it down to 3 to 5 sentences. And then, like where this says basic functions of managing, it will actually say management theories for improvement. So this would say management theories for improvement. And you'd have like an opening paragraph on, well, what is management theories for improvement? So you give kind of an overview here of what that is. And then you're going to go into your first level 2 header, which would be just like this. This is the level 2 header right here. So where I have traditional management as an example, you would have planning. And so this would say planning, and then you write about it. And you're going to write, you know, a couple paragraphs. I think I said, right? A paragraph. There you go, 2 paragraphs, which is minimum. So this is going to be planning, and then you write a couple paragraphs on it. And then basically you would repeat the same thing. So my example goes into, this is a level 3. You don't want to do level 3. You're basically going to repeat this level 2 with, say, planning, and then organizing. So then right below that would be organizing, another level 2 right below it, organizing, write about it, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I think on this one I went into what level 2 and 3s look like. So basically it's this setup right here. You're gonna have your opening, which is management theories for improvement. It's going to be right here. A paragraph, like again, writing about what that is. And then you would say level 2 heavy header planning, then a couple paragraphs on planning. And then you'd repeat that again for for organizing, leading, controlling. Does that make sense?
Yes, that one, that does make sense.
Okay. All right, cool. And then after that, then you basically have when you get through with that. So and if you see like the percentage of your grade, how it's heavier on this one, that's because it's requiring you to go into more detail. You know, again, a paragraph on what is management theories for improvement. And then you're going to touch on these 4 below it in a level 2 header. And then the next section is culture and recommendation. So then once you do that, write about it, and then you would have your next section, right? Which would be a level 1, which would be culture and recommendation. And then you just write about it. You wouldn't necessarily need another level 2 or level 3 or anything like that. That's just the next section, and you'd write about it, and that'd be 2-3 paragraphs. And then conclusion. And so you'd basically jump down to here, conclusion, which would just follow. So yeah, and so when we look at the grading criteria, so executive summary and introduction, again, the analysis of conflict is I'm going to read your paper, and then I'm going to grade the paper on how the breadth and depth of your analysis. And then specifically looking at the section on management theory and improvement, then specifically the section on culture and recommendation, see right here. And then your conclusion, and then right here says critical thinking and support. So the critical thinking, again, it's how I read through it and get an idea how thought about this critically. And the support is your references. So that's the support there. And of course, then just overall APA, guidelines, grammar, spelling, etc. And that would in total your 100%. And that's about it. I mean, it's going to be, like I said, it's a little bit more. This paper is definitely more robust than your other ones, just given finding a company, understanding the culture, deducing a problem, or, finding a company, talking to somebody, deducing a problem, and then based on your readings of, this for this week, tile that together. So it's definitely going to be a little bit more of a complex assignment than your other ones. And that's why you call it your signature assignment. And yeah, that's kind of about it, what I wanted to go through. Any questions around, how that's going to be laid out?
No, I'm gonna do my best though.
Well, I could, let's see here. I could pull up a blank Word document and kind of sketch it out if that'd be helpful.
Yes, that would be extremely helpful.
Okay, give me 1 second here. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Let me see what, open a blank Word doc over here. Okay, do you see the blank Word doc?
Yes.
Okay. So we know, let me just, actually, give me 1 second here to go to 12 point and make sure I double space. Okay. And just get some room here. Okay, so I'm not gonna, necessarily factor in like, this is gonna be your title page. And that, I think we're good there. And then when we start page 2, let me put in some, oh. Where is my? Okay, so the spacing's right. Let's go over here. And we want to put header. And let's just do, I think that works. Okay. Well, we don't want blue. Okay. So for this assignment, your page 2 is going to be, say your paper title. And that is conflict resolution. Okay. So we got that. Yep. And then executive summary. No, let's do this. That doesn't look right. We'll just say executive summary. And then, for your executive summary, then you're going to write, write say 4 paragraphs. 3 to 4, 3 to 5, let's say 3 to 5, because, you know, depending, it's basically, you know, it's 1 page, 3 to 5. Something like that, right? Then I'll put here, do not go over 1 page. That's important. Okay, so then as we go on to page 3. So then this is where it would normally be our page 2, and we would start off pretty much like a regular paper, right? So this is where we want to have our paper title. Okay, and this right here is going to be our introduction paragraph. Like that. So it's going to introduce the whole paper, right? Okay. So then below that, then we're going to start with our first main section, which is management theories and improvement. And let's put that center. Oh, and also these are to be bold. Like that. Okay. And so then right here, I'm gonna write an introductory paragraph on what is HORIS for improvement. Okay, and we know that is going to be 3 to 5 sentences. Okay. So when you write that, and if we go back to our example paper, you know, we're kind of right about here, right? So we have our conflict resolution, which is our paper title, which is the same here, paper title. We have our introduction paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, which is same as this. Then our first major section, where it's management theories for improvement. Let's see here. Good Lord, there's a lot of fonts in here. There we go. Hi, Amanda. How are you? We're just we've gone through the week 4 signature assignment in detail, and there's the formatting of your paper is going to be super important. And so what I was doing is just kind of going through like what what that would look like for the paper. Just get that. I changed the font. There we go. Okay, so management theories for improvement. Again, that's that first main section like you have here, and then write your introductory like this right there. And then once you get through with your introductory paragraph, you'll start your
Okay, great. I'm go check the recording for that
that?
information.
What's that, Amanda? I couldn't hear you. You broke up a little bit.
I think I have an extreme lag over here. Just disregard.
Okay. Okay, so then like, again, where do we go? Now you're going to be at your first level 2 header. So it's just level 1 header, write about it, carriage return, your level 2 header right there. And that is going to be planning. It's going to be right there. And 2 paragraphs minimum. And if we go back to our paper, see that's bold. And then carriage return down. And you write your I think three minimum, I said, right? 2 paragraphs minimum. Write your minimum 2 paragraphs. Okay. Okay, so once you write your minimum 2 paragraphs, carried return, and then you're going to have your section on organizing. And it's kind of rinse and repeat here for this section. Moving. And then your final level 2 section is control. And then rinse and repeat. Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm squeezing all this onto one page. As you can imagine, though, once you write your introductory paragraph here, 3 to 5 sentences, you're writing 2 paragraphs, 2 paragraphs, 2 paragraphs, 2 paragraphs, you're going to be a few pages down, right? So, but again, I'm just kind of keeping it condensed here. So that is your first major section on management theories and improvement. Then we look at the grading. That's this right here, management theories and improvement. Okay. So then your next really, you only have 2 major sections really. Then your next major section, you go back to center page. Hold that. And then, you would indent, and then you would write about the culture and your recommendations to satisfy the assignment requirements. And so what did I say? That's going to be let's see, it doesn't give a length, so you just have to, and that's part of, when I read this, like right here, it's kind of a little more prescribed. You're going to have 3 to 5 sentences here, a couple paragraphs each. But this culture recommendation is not as prescribed. So I'm not going to say, okay, write 3 paragraphs, write 4 paragraphs, write 2 sentences. I'm going to read it and then apply the filter of analysis and then, critical thinking. So you want to write it with enough substance to convey, the assignment requirement. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and write about that. And then you're going to have your conclusion. And we know that is a paragraph. Oops, that's going to be paragraph. Let's see up here, intro. Yeah. Okay, so let me copy this. Look smarter, not harder, right? And I'm going to give myself just a space right here. So we get, just get that on one page. So it's easier for this demonstration. Paragraphs or revised sentences. Okay. So then, you know, that's going to be that. Then you're going to have, let me see here. So that puts us right, you know, here, your conclusion. You know, your conclusion just always when you're writing your paper, when you're done, carriage return, that's your conclusion. You don't put it on a new page. And then you're going to have your references, which will start a new page.
Would the appendix go right before the references or after?
After there, yeah, after. That's a good question. And how many references do we say we need here? Okay. It doesn't say, but this feels like a let's see, support. I don't think it says on here anywhere for a number of references, does it? No. Well, this feels like a minimum of 4 references. There we go. Well, now you make it red. Okay. So then let's go back to your paper. And then you're going to have your okay. And then is your, oh, gotta start a new page. Well, even our examples got a lot of pages. All right. So then you're going to have your appendix. Just like here, references. Now remember, oh, let me just go ahead and go into references. So, I mean, your appendix A. So you always want to start off with appendix. Like you start your appendix section and then say appendix A. And then, you know, if you had more to, you know, if you want to appendix A, and then you know, put whatever here, if you need more, appendix B, appendix C, whatever. Each appendix, like appendix A would be something, and that's that bad boss. What the bad boss behavior. Right there. Yeah. So like if you had more than just, so here you just need appendix A. If you had appendix C's where you had more than one, then appendix B, C, D, whatever, then that way in your paper, you could say refer to appendix A, refer to appendix B, refer to appendix C, then that takes the reader right to, you know, that, and it gives you plenty of space to work with. And that is it. That's what it's going to look like. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is, on this example paper, um, I, I left the running head in here and crossed it out because we don't need that anymore with, APA 7. They got rid of it, which I'm glad, because one, completely useless, and two, and more students struggle how to get this lined up correctly, and it just made a mess of things. So I'm just glad they got rid of it. It was pointless. All right, well, I think that's that. Um, so, and then, conclusion, and then, yeah, like I said, these right here are just gonna be like, just grading criteria there. We go. Any questions?
No, that breakdown was super helpful.
Oh, good. Now, one of the things, like, why I'm so adamant about APA, and every class I teach, I'm very adamant about it, because just think about this. What we applied here was just basic APA formatting, nothing special. Although my title page, I have extra elements, but other than that, but think about it now, when you have, like, when you go to do your reading, your research and everything, what I always did is I did this first. I mean, I wouldn't put myself little notes in here, but what this does is it creates an outline for you. And so it always helped me in kind of doing my own mental math and stuff. So, okay, I got the outline as I'm reading or doing my thing. I mean, shoot, I may write first about leading, because maybe the the assignment is like this, that's the criteria, but in my research, maybe just my own experience, maybe this leading, I want to, it's fresh top of my head, I want to write about that to start with, and then maybe I'll jump up to planning. You don't always have to write it in order, but with your outline, that kind of gives you that mental model of, like, I always use it as a visual. So when I'm reading or doing whatever, I can start kind of connecting the dots. So when I sit down and actually do my writing, you're not like starting off with a blank paper and that whole mental juggling of, oh my God, I got all this information, I got this notes, and I got this blank piece of paper. When you sit down, it's like, hey, I got this nice outline. I can just start filling in the blanks, really. And that helped me a lot in just all my academia. And also, if you think about, like, your professional life, for where you work, if you, depending on what you have to do, you can carry this forward. Say, your boss says, hey, give me a report on XYZ. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get out this outline and I can just fill in the blanks and I'll be done in a heartbeat. So, all right. Well, any other questions?
So you do not want subheadings for the executive summary, correct? Just the 3 paragraphs?
Yeah, no subheadings, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, an executive summary. And again, that's not normal for academia. You don't have that. However, because this assignment is, it's going to mirror like a business report. So I get why they put the executive summary in there, but no, just, in paragraph form, and again, I'm saying 3 paragraphs, maybe it's your 4. An executive summary is never more than 1 page. I'm just thinking, given everything, probably about 3 paragraphs should do it. So, yeah, and that'll just fill in this page right here.
Okay, I think I got confused because I Googled kind of a template, what it looks like, and they all look very different, but they're all
Yeah.
1 page.
Well, I'm sorry, say it again.
But they're all 1 page.
Yeah, and exactly. Your executive summary, and that's why I say don't go over 1 page, because that's probably the only consistent thing. If you Google and look for examples, will be it's 1 page, and maybe it's some are like 1 big paragraph or a couple paragraphs or whatever. For the assignment, so I can have consistency among the students and say, okay, about 3 paragraphs, your executive summary. Again, the main thing is do not go over 1 page. That's really the main takeaway of executive summary. I'm saying about 3 paragraphs, could be 2, could be 4. don't go over one page. Because the thing is, like with your thought process and how you want to lay it out is going to pretty much dictate to, you know, if it's 2, 3 paragraphs, maybe 4, 2.5, remember 3 to 5 sentences. So it's going to fluctuate a little bit. The main takeaway is do not go over one page. Does that make sense, Tracy?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, and like, for example, I do executive communications all the time, and most of it is, oh, there was a chat. I'm sorry, I didn't see a question there. I don't like Zoom. Okay, let's see here. I never done exec summary or an abstract. If you went over this, I'll watch it in the recording. But if you didn't, can you give a brief overview of what you expect for that? Did that, Amanda, and if you have to type, that's fine, I can have it right there. Does that, what Tracy and I just kind of covered, does that answer your question about an executive summary? The context is, so the executive summary is pretty much an overview of the entire project, of your entire everything. And like, it's similar to an introductory paragraph. See, an introduction, like your introduction paragraph is very specific about this is what you're going to read. And the summary is a little bit broader and gives like an overview of kind of the whole project. Okay. So that's kind of the difference between executive summary and an introduction. Yeah. And I think too, even if you Google like what's the difference between executive summary and an introduction, or like what does an executive summary want to cover, you can maybe get some more examples and further explanation. But in a nutshell, executive summary is that bigger picture that encompasses everything. Your introduction paragraph is more specific on this is what you're going to read.
Would you suggest completing it before the paper or after?
I always completed, that's a great question. Yes, I did that. Yes, I did. It said discuss these. Okay. I always did it last, like even my introduction and conclusions, I always wrote those last. I wrote the whole paper, filled it in, and then that way you've written it. And once you write your paper, then that kind of writes the introduction and conclusion itself, right? Because you've written everything. So how easy it now to go to your introduction, because you just wrote everything. It's fresh in your mind. It's okay, well, introduction. And then we know conclusion is basically the other side of the coin. Like introduction, I'm going to tell you what you're going to read it. And then conclusion is, hey, this is what you just read. So I would do the executive summary, literally the very last thing. I'd complete the entire paper and then write your executive summary. Then that way you've painted the entire picture, and then you can take a step back and look at it. And it'll be much easier to write your executive summary. So I'd go body of your paper, introduction, conclusion, executive summary.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. All right. Well, I think that covers everything I wanted to, and we're about out of time, but any other questions about your assignment? Okay, so remember, this, like we said, this is week 4 already. And it's always seems to get here fast. And then, all assignments must be turned in by Sunday. I can't, per university, I can't accept anything late. Unless there is an extraordinary circumstance, you'd have to connect with me first. Although, that everything needs to be due by Sunday. And then, of course, throughout the week, if you have any questions on the assignment as you get into it, you can always email me, because I'm, that's my work computer behind me. I got my email for National here, and I check it throughout the day. If you get into the weekend, I will not be on my email, but please text me if you got any questions or get stuck and need a little help. Text me and hopefully I can answer it there, or if we have to set up a call or do more email, then we can do that. So thank you for joining, and hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, good week, and I wish you much success on your assignment.
Thank you, Dr. Sands.
You betcha. All right. Talk to
Have a
you
good night.
later. You too. Bye-bye.